threat to shut the border sets up his first confrontation with Mexico's new president, Andrés Obrador. This as Border Patrol agents say the system is beyond the breaking point. It is in collapse. Homeland Security now talking to the Pentagon about using military bases to house border crossers after officials were forced to release hundreds of migrants into communities in Arizona and Texas. Shelters and churches and detention facilities now overflowing. Homeland Security put out an urgent call for workers to volunteer for border duty. Now, Mexico's President Obrador insisting Mexico is doing its part, saying, quote, "We are going to do everything we can. We won't in any way, we don't want a confrontation. It is legitimate that the U.S. is displeased and that they voice these concerns." Let's bring in retired General Anthony Tata. General, thanks for joining us. Would shutting the border force Mexico to finally stop this problem, maybe shut theirs and fix it?
Well, that's certainly the assumption I believe the president is making, is that if we shut ours, then the migrants back up within Mexico. They're left to deal with it. And also trade stops. And, you know, Mexico's our third largest trading partner with the United States. And so they'll take a double whammy. And so the problem will then be foursquare in their court, and they have to deal with it. And they would deal with that, I believe, by taking on closing their border and turning those caravans around. Yep. And housing them.
You know, General, the president is not the first to close the border. LBJ did it after the assassination of JFK. Nixon did it and to stop marijuana trafficking. And Nixon got applauded by left-leaning newspapers like the Washington Post and the Boston Globe, saying Nixon got Mexico to step up. They were doing strip searches back then at the border. Reagan enacted a similar policy because that was after that Mexican drug cartel killed a U.S. DEA agent. So there's precedent here, and it looks like the Immigration Nationality Act says the president can do this.
Absolutely. I mean, the left's visceral hate for Trump is what causes them to oppose anything that the president supports. But at the end of the day, they have to look at this and realize that it is untenable and unsustainable, the number of migrants that are really storming our border, and we have nowhere left to put them. And I can remember back in the 90s, we had the Haitian immigrants flooding Florida, and we had to put them in Cuba and Panama and other places. And so that's one option. But right now we're out of places to put people, and our Border Patrol is stressed to the max.
Yeah, they're talking about using Fort Bliss and Goodfellow Air Force bases as well. I mean, you know, your point is well taken about Mexico being our third biggest trading partner. The president could use that certainly as a big club against Mexico, right. But he also doesn't want to hurt his 2020 chances, also that trade deal with Mexico, right?